Hello everyone, welcome to SAP Technomaniac. In this video, we will learn about the cardinality. What is the basic rules of the cardinality? If we change the cardinality, then how it will impact our result set. Let's get started. In my last video, we have learned about the association, the basics of the association. What all are the types of the association? We learn about what is the ad hoc association and what is exposed association. Now in this video we'll try to understand the cardinality in bit deeper. We didn't talk much about the cardinality in my last video. So as you can see in this particular CDS entity, it is from my last video only. What we did, we have connected VBAK and VBAP table through this association. We are associating the VBAK table with the VBAP table. Here VBAK is our source entity and VBAP is our target entity. We are using the association 1 to star to associating the VBAK and VBAP table. So cardinality, as I told you in my last video, it always talks about the destination or target entity. In this case it talks about the VBAP. What it is telling, in VBAP we can have either one entry or star means any number of entries. Star can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to n number of entries can be there. It's not talking about VBAK at all. It's just telling that in the VBAP how many entries will be there for one entry in the VBAK table. That is the basics of cardinality. We should not get confused here with the cardinality like that. Sometimes we confuse like this. If VBAK having one entry and VBAP having star entry, this is the information of the cardinality. This is the wrong. The cardinality is giving the information about the target only. It is telling how many minimum number and how many maximum number of the entries will be available in our target. So this one is minimum and star is maximum. So basically cardinality, what it is telling, so if I write the system and show you, so it's like that, minimum dot maximum. It's like that. So minimum entries in our target entity and maximum entries in my target entity. So there is some basic rules of the cardinality we'll try to understand. For understanding the basic rule, the first and most important basic rule is the max should be greater than minimum. Obviously we should have some you can't define like that. If cardinality like this 1 to 0, this is wrong. What we are telling the system 1 to 0, it's wrong cardinality. It's not correct. So maximum always should have greater value and minimum always should have lesser value. And what can be values we can use for minimum and maximum? You can use 0 to any number, star, n number. I can tell 0, 1, 2, 3 up to n number, any number we can use for the minimum and maximum. But there is some rules are also there. The first rule, the maximum can't be 0. So if I tell like this, suppose we have 0 to 0 entry. What we are telling, anyway we can't define this this one first. As per our first rule, we can't define more than 0, so we try to define 0, but it is also not possible because it's not giving any information at all. So if you try to define like this, it will tell us the cardinality of the association underscore item must not be 0. There should be some cardinality, there should be some relationship, then only we can use association. And next thing what I want to tell, if we try to define like that, if we try to give the minimum value as a star, and you can't give minimum value as a star. Basically I want to this particular, there should be some value in the minimum. You can't define minimum as a star. If you try to define, again you will get the error, lower limit of cardinality must not be star. There should be some value, then only this error will go. Okay, so these are the simple rules. Apart from this, one more thing I want to tell. In this case I have defined the cardinality, correct, but sometime some guy used and he didn't define the cardinality at all. In this case, we are not getting the error. But SAP, if you don't define the cardinality of that particular association, SAP takes care of it and it will define the cardinality. If you don't define, the SAP define like that, minimum to what default cardinality will be there, minimum to 1. This is the default cardinality SAP give. The minimum value again depends upon the relationship between the VBAK and VBAP. Okay, so it depends upon the basically target entity. If we have always we have one entry in the VBAP table, then minimum automatically become 1, and sometime we have one entry and sometime we don't have entry at all, and we can have more entry, that time it will become automatically 0. So basically what I want to tell, if you don't define the cardinality, it will give either 0 to 1 or 1 to 1 by default by the system, based on the target entry is having always one entry, then it will define as a 1, minimum entry is a 1. What it depends upon the in the target, what is the number of minimum entries. So this is the one basic rule if you don't define the cardinality. But the sometime we define the cardinality but we give only one value only, like this. In this case I give star. So if you give only one value, SAP take this value as a max value. If you give like this, so basically you are defining only the max value of that particular cardinality. Then what will be the minimum value? Minimum value by default it will become 0. So in this case, if you define the cardinality like this star, it will automatically become 0 to star, like that. Same goes with if you try to define the cardinality like 1, then it will automatically become this cardinality 0 to 1. Control C, Control V. So this all are the basic things about the cardinality. These are the rules, I can say. But what is the actual use of the cardinality? I have defined the cardinality, where SAP uses this cardinality. So basically this cardinality defines only the semantics of the, or we can say the relationship between the source and target. So what is the relationship between the source and target? Some database they uses only to check the relationship, but some database they use this cardinality to optimize the query. So if you get if you know like that, the HANA database uses this cardinality to optimize the query. Since we are talking about the SAP HANA, but other database it might optimize or it might not optimize. It depends database to database. To understand this, what I will do, we will try to change the cardinality and we will see how the cardinality is impacting our result set. Let me show you that this is this association we have already seen in my last video. Let me activate this one, Control F3, and we were accessing some of the data from this item. You can see because we have exposed association, this is exposed association, we are accessing the data from the exposed association. But you can see the SQL create statement for this particular association, and you will get to know there is no join formed as of now. If you try to see the create SQL statement for this particular CDS entity, then you will get to know there is no join form over here. But as I shown you in my last video, if you see this one if you access this data here and if you try to see the SQL trace, then you will see the left outer join happen because we are accessing the data from the association. So basically, as I told you, association is the join on demand. As soon as you access the data from the association through the path expression, it will create a join. But again depends that what join it will create. Suppose I try to access the data in the same CDS entity itself. So if I try to access, like instead of accessing there, I am accessing here itself. So you can say I access the Posner here itself. And now if I will try to see the SQL create statement, then it will be creating one left outer join. If you see the SQL create statement, it will create the left outer join here itself, because we have accessed the data association, converted into the join, and it created the left outer join. But what is the role of cardinality? What cardinality give which join? So that's a very important thing over here. Suppose if I try to change, I know the relationship between source and target entity is 1 to star. If I try to give 1 to 1 relationship only, then what will happen? Let me see the SQL create statement. You will wonder to know that we got left outer join, but this time we got many to one join. So basically it behaves same as how the left outer join with 2 1 behave. As I already explained how left outer join behave with 2 1 and too many in last to last video. If you didn't see that video, you can see that video. The link is available in the description as well, and you can see on the I button as well, because that video is very important to see how the left outer join is behaving differently with the 2 1 and too many. So as I told you, just I want to summarize how it is behaving. If the relationship between the right table, left table and right table is 1 to n, again I am telling, in this case also we have 1 to n relationship only. If the relationship between the left and right table 1 to n, and we have used left outer join to 1 in our CDS, or it is converted to 1, then what will happen if we are not accessing the data from the right table? That time it will not form a join. So if you are not getting, if you want to see specifically that left outer join how it will work, you can watch out that video, but I will explain here as well, but in shorter way. So what I will do now, I am calling this particular association, this particular query in my one of the report. Let me show you how it is behaving. So since we already access some data, let me get one more data also from this item association dot material number I can get, and instead of getting this one, since we have changed the association, or let me activate this control F3, and let me try to edit this one also, because now it is not exposed association. I can directly access the Posner and Metner, correct? But I don't want to access. Let's just remove that and activate it, control F3. First I will talk about the normal cardinality, where we have given everything correct 1 to star, and how it is behaving in the when we are calling this particular association in another select statement, or if we are calling in any application, Fiori application also, how it will behave. It will behave the same. So as of now I can't create because we are learning very basic things, the Fiori application. So we are just try to consuming the select in that particular CDS in the select statement. Let me do F9. So you can see, if you do F9, you got the data. Since the left outer join already happened when we created this particular view, it converted into left outer join, and the left outer join to normal left outer join got created, not 2 1 and 2 n many. It's a normal left outer join got created, and it access the data not only from the sales order and Kunnar. The join happened, and data got accessed from not only the header table, it got access from the item table also. Even we are not using any field from the item table. If you want to see, you can see the SQL trace also, that I already have shown in that when I explained left outer join to 1 and too many. So that's a simple, you can see as of now the result. Second thing, what I will do, instead of doing 1 to star, I will change the cardinality 1 to 1. And let me clear out the console first. Let me activate this one, Control F3. And now let me try to execute this particular program again. How the cardinality change impact on the result, we will see. Let me do F9. So if you see this particular F9, in this time join didn't happen. You saw that same sales order previously we were having the 2 entries. Now because particular the sales order we are having the 2 line item, the joined happen and we got the 2 entry. And now in this case join didn't happen when we are using the cardinality. Why it didn't happen? Because this is, when you see the SQL create statement, it's a not normal left outer join. It is left outer join to 1. So it's a very important thing, to 1 and too many. Since it is left outer join with 2 1 and we are not accessing the data from the right table, that time join will not form. Not only this case, if we do sum up, if we do the summation, aggregation we are doing, that time also the join will not happen if the cardinality is 1 to 1, or it form the, basically we should not see the cardinality. Whenever we want to see, we have to see what actually it is becoming, this left outer join. If it is normal left outer join, it will behave like a normal left outer join. But if it is left outer join to 1, it will behave differently, because its code change into 2 1. If it's changed into the too many, it is too many means it will behave same like a left outer join only. So what I will do, this I have shown you, I didn't get any result. If I try to get any result now with the from the Posner, then it will work normally and we will get, it will form a left outer join because we are getting the data from the right table as well. So it is not like that it will give always, this cardinality is not, it will not like work like you will get always one entry from the right table. It's not correct. It will get, if it is having more entries also, it will get the entries, because it will work like the left outer join with the 2 1. So what I will do now, I will try to access the one more thing. Let me activate this one, Control F3, clear out the console. See that sales order number 11 is important because we have to multiple line item. Let me do F9. This time we got 2 data, 2 lines we got, but you can see this time left outer join got formed and we got the 2 line for the particular sales order if we are having the multiple line for that particular sales order. Then now we will talk about the second thing, the aggregation thing. As I told you, if we use aggregation function in your particular select query, then also it will work the same way. Now how it is working, if we are using the cardinality 1 2 star, then it will combine both the table, it will join will happen, it will get the aggregate from both the table. If we use the aggregation only, if it is a cardinality 1 to 1 and it will convert it left outer join to 1, that time it will get the result from only from the left hand side table only. So let me see that also. So what I will do, for doing aggregation, I need some data, extra data. I need some net amount. Let me get net amount from the VBAK table. So what I will do, VBAK dot net where. As soon as I access the net where, I'm getting some error. Okay, so what it is telling, reference information missing for data type wrong. So what it is, because it is amount field, it is expecting us to enter a currency field for the particular amount field. How to give that one? Because since we have created CDS entity, not DDIC based CDS view. In the CDS entity, the stricter checks are there. If you are giving the amount field, then you have to give the currency field as well. So let me give the currency field, VBAK dot WAERK, something is there, control space. Yeah, this is our currency field. Now we have to connect this currency field with this amount field. For that we will use one annotation, @semantic. So as of now we have discussed about the header level annotation. we are using first time the annotation which we have to use at the field level. This is called the field level annotation. So let me use this annotation at the rate semantics semantics dot currency code. So what I want to give? I want to give the currency code for amount currency code, something annotation is there. So what is the, for this particular amount, what is the currency code? I will give, this is the currency code for my amount. Let me little bit so we can see the data properly. So you can see now error got removed. Let me activate this one, Control F3. Now what I will do, I will try to aggregate this amount in my report and see how the result is impacting. For that, what I will do, instead of using this all the fields, what I will do, I simply sum up this amount, sum, control space, and I have to give the value of which value I want to aggregate. I want to aggregate the netwear field. Okay, so I am doing only summation. If I use aggregate function in my select list, it can be count, average, or any other aggregate function. It behaves same. So if we are using aggregate function and the cardinality is 1 to 1, that time left outer join will not happen. If the cardinality is 1 to star, left outer join means left outer join will happen only, but left outer join to 1 will happen. But in this select statement, due to that left outer join to 1, it will not create the left outer join when we access the data. So let me, what I can do, I got the sum one time. So let me create one more select statement, Control C, where what I will do, once I get the data, I will try to aggregate the data. Control V. So this time what I will do, I will fetch the data VBL. So actually we have to use, if we have given alias name, we have to use alias name in the select list. Let me use Kannar and netwear, NETWR. Okay, and this time I will use result 1 instead of result. I did the summation, so no need to, I can use directly total or something. It's okay. So what I will do now, in this I will loop through this table and I will add the values. For doing the summation of the data, what I will do, I will use the reduce operator over here. I think it might be not visible to you due to my video. What I will do, let me close this console and let me decrease this one, and I will try to use here reduce operator. So reduce operator always return one value. So what I will do, it can return multiple values also, that I have already explained in that video. So what I will do, I will get the LV result, I can say, and I will, so what will be the type of my result? It will be type of, first I will use reduce word, and what will be the type of my result? It will be the type of net price. So basically we are summing the net price, so the type will be the net price. So I have to initialize some value. So in this case I will initialize one variable LV sum, that should be type of netwear, NETWR, and after doing this I will loop through this particular result set, Control C. So I will use for loop over here. So for, then work area ls underscore result, in which table you want to loop, LT result 1 I want to loop. Once I loop this table, then the next means it will do for each iteration what needs to be done. So what I want to do, I want to get this sum equal to sum plus, let me do little bit more here so you can see easily, sum equal to, and I will get the result from here, Control C, Control V, and what I want to sum, net price. That's it. So let me Alt Shift A and remove this space so you can see easily. Control Alt Shift A again. Okay, let me do Shift F1. So what I did, I got the summation. So for that I have to get the one field from the right hand side table also. So it will form a join, and I can see when this particular select statement form a left outer join, what is the summation, and without forming the left outer join, what is the summation, and we can compare easily. That is the reason I have written these two queries. So instead of display, I have to write this summation over here, and here instead of displaying the table, Control C, I have to display the result, Control V. Shift F1, let me do Control F3, and let me do F9. So first we will see with the cardinality 1 to 1. So as I told you, when we use the aggregate function over here, that left outer join, this particular cardinality convert the association to left outer join to 1. So in that case, to 1, if you are not accessing the data from right hand side table, or if you are doing some aggregate function, then join will not form. So the summation will be different. In this case, we are accessing the data from the right hand side table, and we are trying to do sum after that. Then in this case, the result will be different. Let me do F9 and see the result. Let me clear out the console. Clear out the console. And let me do F9. So you can see there are two different results. This result is coming, I think this result will be the just half of, not half, it depends upon the number of entries actually, how many line item it is there. So suppose we are having for 11th number self-solder 2 line items are there. So for those 2 line items, what is the summation? It get that particular net price added 2 times because join happened this time. But in this case, since the join didn't happen, and we are getting the data from only from the left table, the amount is different. The same thing I can this is the difference. Or suppose I will use the cardinality instead of 1 to 1, if I use 1 to star, in this case, even we are using the aggregate function, the join will happen every time. Let me activate and show you, because it will form the normal left outer join. Let me control F3, activate this one, and this time let me do, I didn't change in program, let me do F9. So result, you can see both the results are same in this case, because in this case left outer join is happening in both the places. One more thing I just want to show you, it will not take much time. If you do F9 in this particular result, F8, not F9, and if you try to see the number of entries, currently it is showing the number of entries 1508 because the left outer join happened. But if I change the cardinality 1 to 1, Control F3, and if I do F9 now again, not F9, F8, sorry, F8 again, and I try to see the number of entries, this time even though the number of entries are more, it is showing in only 1082, because whenever we click on the number of entries, backend one query getting executed where it is count star the entries. Since this query got executed and the cardinality is 1 to 1, that time join didn't happen, or we are getting the less number of entries, even we are having the more entries in this particular. You can see even we have this particular because it's a line item data, so we have the multiple line item. You can see 10 and 20 for the same sales order. We have the number, let me show you that also. Suppose this 11 sales order, we have 2 line item, but it is counting only 1 line item because it's taking from the header table. In this video, we have learned about the cardinality, how cardinality impact the result set. In my next video, how we can form the inner join instead of the left outer join from the association. What all are the scenarios are there? Not only that, if we use this association, in the where condition, how it will behave, or what will be the restriction to use this particular association in our where condition. Before going to that video, please like this video, subscribe this channel, and share these videos with others as well. With that, thank you and happy learning.